Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my course, and on this video we are going to learn how to make a nice solitaire cushion cut with a bezel set ring. If you guys are new here, first of all make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. If you don't know what I am talking about in this video, make sure you watch my course from the beginning. You can access my full course by going on the description below, and there is a playlist there. Alright guys, as usual, let's start a new file by going to our file and select the new button, and we are going to select as usual the small object millimeters. Let's draw a circle by selecting our circle command. Go to our front view and type 0 on your keyboard. Press enter, and now let's elaborate the size of our ring, which will be, for example, like 16.1 millimeter in diameter. And like usual, I'm going to offset this circle by typing offset on our keyboard, and let's say to a distance of 1.95 millimeter. Press enter, and don't forget to offset it to the outside of the circle, and simply click on your canvas. Alright, the next thing we will need is of course a gem, which is available for free on my Patreon link, which you can find on the description below. So for this exercise we are going to use a cushion gem. Click and simply drag it on your software and select import file and press OK. Alright, now let's resize our gemstones by simply selecting our gemstones. Press shift on your keyboard and press on the little red square. For the size of the gemstones, let's make it at 5.5 millimeter. And for this tutorial, let's play around a little bit and make these cushion gemstones into like something rectangle, and I believe it is called like a rectangular cushion gemstones or whatever. So I'm going to navigate on the box tab right here, and for the Y parameter I'm going to say like 7 millimeter. Press enter. Alright, now we have set the size. Let's put this into place to somewhere around here. It is fine. Alright, now the next step, we are going to create our bezel settings based on the shape of our gemstones. We are going to simply extract these outside lines and use it as a base curves for our bezel settings. So to do that, I'm going to go into the perspective and I'm going to switch to the shaded. I'm going to select my gemstones, and to be able to get like this curve of our gemstones, this curvature, we are going to use a command called the extract isocurve. Press enter, select the surface of the isocurve to extract, which is this one, and here guys you can see like a line, a black line, which represent the curves we want to extract from the shapes. It should follow the shape of the gemstones, but sometimes you can have like this type of curves, which is a straight line, and of course you don't want that. And if you have this type of effect right here, we simply have to press on toggle and to get back this curve. Now I'm simply going to click somewhere around here. It is fine. Press enter when it is done. Let's go back to our front view, and I'm simply going to move this a little bit down, or maybe it is too much. Let's put it to something around here. Now let's define our bezel by simply using our polyline and draw some lines to define our bezel. So I'm going to click somewhere around here and then end up to something around here. I'm going to select the curves I made and simply make an offset to the outside of the distance of 2 millimeter. Let's try it. Maybe it is a bit big. Let's make 1.5, see how it looks. But anyway, this is just an example. Press enter and then simply click on the canvas. What we can do right now is close those holes and define our bezel. But before going forward, let's make our life easy and let's design a nice set for our gemstones so our gemstones can sit right into place. I'm going to use my polyline once again, and I'm going to come here, something around here, and draw a line press shift on a keyboard, something like that, and I'm going to move it into position somewhere around here, which is fine. Select my line once again, and I'm going to move down a little bit, something like that. I'm going to do another line by snapping this and finish it to somewhere around here, just following our gemstones. So I'm going to make another line which will snap it to here, and I'm going to make a straight line. Same thing again, hold the shift key and release it by clicking on your canvas. Now what we can do is, of course, we are going to trim the excess line first. I'm going to hide our gemstone first, select all of those lines we created and type trim off this line with this line and this line, press enter on the keyboard. Let's show back our gems. Now what we can do is simply like close this gap, same thing on bottom, just like that. And now what we can do, guys, is simply again trim off those excess lines we have. Trim this one, and this one, and we're going to join them together. So now let's make sure like we have a closed curve by selecting our shape and go to the properties tab, and here on type section you can see that this is a closed curve. Now the next step is, now we have like the shape of our bezel. Of course we need to define our bezel based on our shape and using the rail we just made earlier. So the command we are going to use is rail revolve. I'm going to select the curves we want to revolve, which is this one, and the rail, which will simply be the rail we just made earlier. The start of our revolve axis will be 0. Type 0 on your keyboard, press enter, and the axis we are just going to lock into this green axis right here. And here is our bezel, and let's show back our gemstone by tapping show on your gemstones, and this is how it looks for the moment. So as you can see, guys, we have a problem right here, because I think the main issue with the rail revolve command is that the inconsistency of the size, and also like look at how ugly this thing looks. It might be a bit too wide. So let's adjust this thing by selecting this, and then we are going to use the explode command. Now I'm going to select the top surface and the bottom one and simply delete those surfaces. Next thing I'm going to do is select this surface and simply join them together. So same thing with the inside. I'm going to select both surface, this one, and simply join them together, just like that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is simply like resize the outside surface. So there's two ways. Of course you can simply eyeball it, like resize it like that and use your sense, or if you want to be like a maniac, get something correct, so we can use guidelines, of course, like use a polyline, and I'm going to snap it to the inside a poly surface. I'm going to click here, and let's say you want the size of the bezel, the thickness of the bezel to something like 0.8 or 1 millimeter. Press 1, press enter, make a straight line like that, and to finish off at the top, just like that. Now you can select your surface and simply like match those guidelines you made. Same thing on the front side. If somehow like you don't like how it looks, right, you can do the same using guidelines. Like I say, just use your sense. But once we are satisfied with how it looks, we can close the gaps by using our loft command. Select loft, and we're going to select the inside and the outside curves. Press enter. Make sure like the arrow is facing the same direction, and simply press enter once again. Press OK. Same thing on the bottom, select this curve and the outside curve, press enter, enter once again, press OK. And now we can simply join all those surfaces together. Let's make sure like this is a closed poly surface, and it seems like there is still like one on the middle which is like not seen because of the gemstones. I'm simply going to hide it and reselect this surface along with all of the other surface and join them together once again. So now we have a closed solid poly surface. Alright, now what we can do is redefining our bezel, and to do that let's do a wire cut command. So before going forward, let's use a polyline and let's define our bezel. I'm going to make a line to something like that. Now what we can do is perform a wire cut. Select the cutting curves, which is this one, press enter, and we are going to select our object, which is this one, press enter, and go on the top view and make sure you cut the whole thing. Now we can go ahead and select the top surface and simply delete it, just like that. Now same thing on the bottom, wire cut. I'm going to select the cutting curves, which is our inner circle, press enter, the object, which is again our bezel settings, cutting depth, same thing, and now we can go ahead and delete the parts we don't need, just like that. Now what we can do, of course, is make our shank, in other words our ring. So what I want to do, first of all, I'm going to delete this thing and this thing, and I want like our ring to make a nice stylized rings like that with a curves on the top that joins our bezel to our ring. And to do that, I'm going to use the polyline first and use a little guideline, something like that. And now we can use the blend curve command. Select our curve and also select our rail like that. As you can see, the curve is actually on the wrong side, so I'm going to select the flip 2, just like that, flip 1, mess around a little bit to make it how we want, and press OK. I'm going to delete the guideline we made earlier. Now I'm going to select my curve and then mirror it on the other side across the y-axis, just like that. Now I want to select all of those curves we made along with my outside rail, and I'm going to trim off the excess curve we don't need, which is the middle one. Press enter. Now again join them together. Now guys, let's refine this shape because it kind of looks like ugly. So I'm going to type rebuild, use the rebuild command, and simply like mess with the point count and the degree. 21 and 3 is actually fine. I'm simply going to press OK. And now what we can do is simply like redefine our shape using our poly points, and simply like mess those things around, like this point and this one. Let's like create something smooth, like that. Now it kind of looks good to me. So let's define the shape of our ring by going to the top view. I'm going to go here and select the art, the second option, and I'm going to make an art like that. The thickness will be 3mm, just like that. Constrain it, and then simply like bend this thing to define the shape of our band ring, just like that. I'm going to select this arc we just made and simply click on the move, constrain it on the middle and snap it somewhere along this line right here. Going to switch back to the front view, select my line, same thing again, select the move command, snap it at the end, and I'm going to snap it to the top of our customized curve we just made. Now we can simply like mirror this on the other side, just like that, guys. Alright, now what we can do, guys, is to make a sweep one command. I'm going to select my rail, and I'm going to switch back to the perspective view and select the shape we want to sweep, which is this 2 line on top. Press enter once again. And now what I want to do, I want to hide our gems, and we are going to select this curve and the other curves because we want to use the loft command. And the other side, which is here. Press enter once again, just like that. Now we have like a top surface, and we're going to select our bottom surface and join them together, just like that. And then because like the side of our ring is straight, we can simply cap this ring, just like this. Now the same thing again, go to the front view and let's make shaded like that, or even ghosted. And we are going to use a wire cut command. Select the cutting curves, which is this one, and press enter. Select the object, press enter once again. Now we can go ahead and delete the parts we don't need to create our ring. So now let's redefine again our shank by making it taper on the top. I'm going to go to my right view, and let's draw a line and select both sides. Go at the bottom right here, snap it at the bottom, and for the size let's make it at 2.95. Oh, excuse me. Let's do it again. Select both sides, snap it at the bottom, and then I'm going to make of the size of 2.95 divided by 2 because we are starting from the middle. Now I'm going to select align commands, make another line, and let's constrain it, snap it to somewhere around here. It is fine. And now guys, let's take our like curved line right here, snap it somewhere around here, and let's finish off to the middle. I'm going to turn on the grid snap and snap it to here. I'm going to take the line we made along with this line, simply join them together. Once it is joined, I'm going to take this one and mirror it across the y-axis. Just like that. I'm going to select both of them, simply join them together. Now of course guys, I can use my control point and redefine it to however you want them to be, you know. Now it is snapping to my grid, which is something I don't want. You can even like make this thinner like that. You can rebuild this thing if you need to, like this. Probably rebuild it. Press enter, and let's see how it looks right now. Press OK. Select these two and mess around, you know, make it smooth or whatever, guys. So now guys, we can perform a wire cut. Select our cutting curve, press enter, select the object, press enter, and make sure like the direction is on the X, not on Y. If you see something like that, just switch the direction to the X, just like that, and then simply delete the extra curves, the extra surface. You see, this is how our ring actually look, with a nice tapered like shank. So once we like how it looks. Of course, we have to delete the inside of our shank, and we can do that with a boolean difference. Simply like type boolean difference on the keyboard, select our shank, press enter, and then select surface to subtract with, which is our bezel. Press enter once again. Ah, I'm sorry, let's do it again. Press our bezel, and let's select delete cutter, set it to no. Just like that, guys. Beautiful. So let's reveal back our gemstones, and this is how it looks, guys. This is our final ring.